they're the biggest adversary in getting laws changed, the bar associations in each state, because they think it's better, more financially, beneficial to keep things divisive. Corporations, what do they do with a lot of their money? Well, they have lobbyists in the Capitol. They put their money towards campaigns for legislators. Well, if corporations realize, hey, we're losing millions of dollars a year, maybe they'll change where their campaign dollars go.
What's going on, guys? It is Mark Real Jr., the Father's Rights Attorney, and on August 7th, I am releasing my first book, The Father's Rights Playbook. My introduction to family law was my own family law case and going through the family court system. And in doing that, my eyes were open to the injustices that occur and the trials and tribulations that fathers are put through. So it was a personal experience, and then my eyes were open to this broad systemic issue, which has inspired me to build this firm and now write this book.
4 years ago, this was a completely different scenario, this cause and everything that we're being involved in. And it's changed. It has changed a lot. People are working together collaboratively. They're not, working against each other. So that's great. And in doing that, when I started working with the Father's Rights Movement, I was in the heat of my child custody dispute. And I was also starting a doctorate degree about midway there. And I was doing something on machine learning and natural language processing. And it was a business degree, right? So I'm trying to do something in that realm. I'm like, man, if only I could compound my time. This child custody dispute, that's law, that's psychology, it's not business, or is it? When my attorney's office hours are 9 to 5. So when I'm at work and I need to talk to him about something, I'm out in the hallway talking to my attorney. I'm not at my desk. And so I got thinking, well, how much of my time is really robbed from my employer, my distraction, my lack of sleep, stress, from this child custody dispute. And I did what I thought was, realistic, but conservative. I said, okay, 25%. And I took that by the number of parents affected, about around 13 million custodial parents nationwide, which means that for every custodial parent, there's a non-custodial parent. So you're looking at 26 million people, and that works out to like 13% of the entire U.S. workforce of working age individuals 18 to 55. Who cares about the corporations? Like, who cares if they're losing money? This is my child. Well, you care. And here's why. The Bar Association, it's been hinted to me by multiple people, well, they want to keep things divisive because, well, that, the people within their association, that's their livelihood, right? So they're feeding off of this. They're the biggest adversary in getting laws changed, the bar associations in each state, because they think it's better, more financially, beneficial to keep things divisive. Corporations, what do they do with a lot of their money? Well, they have lobbyists in the Capitol. They put their money towards campaigns for legislators. Well, if corporations realize, hey, we're losing millions of dollars a year, maybe they'll change where their campaign dollars go. There's a book, Divorce Court, estimates that the divorce industry is a $55 billion a year industry. How does a ragtag group of subjugated fathers that are broke and, if they speak up about anything, they're going to go to jail for contempt of court? How do they stand up against a $55 billion industry? Well, in the military, what you do is if you're outgunned, you switch to guerrilla warfare. You attack supply lines. Supply lines in this case is money from corporations that go to campaigns. So that's why it matters. That's why we care about how this affects corporations, because once they realize that, and then they start changing where they put their campaign dollars, they also do other things that will help their bottom dollar, but it's an alignment of interest because it also helps our cause. It helps equality. And I won't say just fathers. It helps mothers, fathers, children. When I went through my custody dispute, I went for 50-50. And I was, the respondent. And I had an option because the way the case went that my attorney's like, we can go for more than 50-50. I was like, yeah, we could. But it's the principle of the matter. I'm not trying to take my daughter away from her mother, even if, some ways I feel that would be better interest for my daughter. It's about equality. When I did the pilot study I found a lot of data that I'll be going through for years, really. One of the things I actually found is that, National Parents Organization, they did a report card for each state, giving them an A, B, C, D, F, based on a qualitative review of their state laws and how equal they were. And the study that I got, I wanted to use states that I got at least 100 responses for, minimum. And so the highest grade state that I got that minimum was Arizona. And then the other state was New York, which had an F. Arizona had an A minus. However, the data also showed that on average, both parties spent more money in Arizona than they did in New York. Well, if the Bar Association's theory is correct, that keeping things divisive makes them more money, why are people spending more money in Arizona than they are in New York? Well, what do you know if you're a father in New York? You're going to go to court, you're going to spend a lot of money, and you're not going to win anyway. So let's just skip that part. Let's start paying child support. And when he doesn't pay an attorney, neither does the mother, because she didn't have to fight back. She didn't have to defend everything he throws back. But in Arizona, where they're on a more equal playing field, just like David and Goliath, I'm 5'9". So if I go up against a guy that's 6'7", I'm not as likely to try and start a fight, but maybe I won't back down as much if the guy's, also 5'9", so maybe I'll put a little bit more fight into it because I actually have an opportunity of winning. Same situation, more equal chance of winning that they have, the more intense they'll fight, thus they spend more money. Now, I'm not trying to say that people need to spend more money or that they should have to. Absolutely not. But if we can get those laws to where they're equal, maybe we can reduce the amount of people that have to go through that.
Yeah, and that's an interesting piece about the bar associations, because so I've seen recent numbers that say by 2025 that you're looking at an $80 billion a year industry where 75% of the money is spent by men.
I have no doubt.
And I think the bar associations, it's less about money, at least from my seat. I'm a member of the bar. And it's more about attorneys are risk averse. This is the way things have been. And you're slowly, as more people are, say, I'm 32 years old, more people that are in my generation become members of the bar, we're seeing people more and more open to doing things differently. So it's a very interesting dichotomy. So I think what was most interesting with yours is the perspective, the impact it has on major corporations, because you're going to go to them and you tell them 13% of your workforce is going through a child custody dispute. And no one going through a child custody dispute is going to be able to give 100% at anything they do. So what did your research tell you about? Did you look into productivity, how that impacts corporations?
Absolutely. So